Okay, we're 6 minutes late. Blame technology. Welcome to what we've waited months for. This is the final time we will discuss our Oscar predictions here on Popcast Network, and we will be picking every single winner for the 2019 Academy Awards. Welcome to another award show podcast, an award show prediction podcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. My name is Owen. Joining me, as always, we have Ashley.
Fuck Jim Cameron.
He does have an amazing land in Animal Kingdom, though. I'm not going to lie about that, even though I hate the movie.
I don't give a shit. Oh, I don't like Aquaman. It's not realistic enough. Coming from the dick that wrote Alita Battle Angel. Fuck off.
That review currently on this network as of yesterday. So
Segue.
Check that out. Exactly. Wrote it in just like a Disney manager. Welcome, Cassie. Welcome, Bry Guy. It's nice to have you back, Brian. Nice to have you back, Cassie. We'll have our normal cavalcade in the chat, I'm going to guess, later on tonight. If not, then we have you guys probably on archive. So once again, welcome, whether live or in archive. And our final member of the panel would be AJ.
Yeah, I can't help but look at behind you to see how much the delay is.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm sorry about that. It's only ready to really do this. Maybe someday I'll figure it out. So, we don't have a video for today, so it was like kismet that this would be exactly what we did today. And I'm guessing we're going to roll right into reviews tomorrow, aren't we, AJ?
Just a shitload of verses.
Cool. Awesome. AJ content peppering the weekend once more. So, I just finished about 15 minutes ago figuring out what I wanted. This is the only time this whole season that I have not thought off the seat of my pants. I'm actually predicting based on actually thinking about everything. So I have my answers already written down. Thank you, Brian. Delays are usually in all live streams. Yeah, especially on this network. Technology is wonderful, isn't it?
So before we go into like prediction stuff, I'm assuming we should talk about the developments, I guess you could say. But, you know, every time we go into developments, they usually change the next day. So
So let's do it so they fucking change this.
Before we go anywhere, Ashley, I do want to state right now, talking about developments that happen when we say so. Who called The Undertaker at StarCast last night? This guy did. And there's proof of it.
Well, I'm assuming everybody saw the whole... well, no, at first, it was somewhat of a relief when I heard they were putting 4 categories on the commercial breaks, only because I had assumed it was going to be like most of the text. But then you realize like cinematography and editing are 2 of them. Which is pissing the entirety of Hollywood off, which is great. I'm more than I mean they're trying to like double down on it, but I can't imagine they won't backpedal eventually.
Imagine, you know, if Roger Deakins never got his award on stage properly last year in front of a television audience. Instead, it was just in a fucking commercial.
And the annoying thing about it is they're basically wanting to do the recap thing for 4 categories in the way I'm assuming BAFTA did, at least on my broadcast. But, like, what does that save? 5 minutes? Like, what's even the fucking point? Why not just...
In a year when we've got no host, so we need to fucking fill time anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, could they be actually trying to finish early this year?
I've looked at the write-up for... how it went down in '89, the last time it happened.
Okay.
Some of the stuff looks fucking abysmal.
It's funny because Cassie just said in chat they should just hand out the awards in the audience if they really wanted to save some time.
Like 2004?
Yep.
But it is also worth noting, I keep hearing that everybody kind of puts the blame on John Bailey, the Academy president, when apparently it's more like his arms being twisted by ABC. Because there was the whole thing, too, where they were bringing up the ABC and Disney, that whole connection.
Right.
And if you take out documentary short, the stuff that was being cut out of the broadcast is the only like big tech categories that Black Panther's not nominated for.
Or Avengers, in the case of VFX, obviously.
Which was funny to me because they were still going to air documentary short, and documentary short has a movie called Endgame. Coincidence? I think not.
Wow.
I think if you look at it as well, yeah, as you say, Disney is somehow involved in every single category apart from the 5, 4 of which are in the also ran section now, apparently.
But given that they've backpedaled on everything else, given the outcry, actually from like the most nominated person of the night, Quaron, I don't see them not backing down on this because it's getting more and more pointless as it goes. They might as well.
Well, the fact that Del Toro's going crazy about it, the fact that Russell Crowe went and treated this is fucking abysmal. That's his quote, not mine. That to me says, yeah, you might want to change your tune there, Academy.
Well, Mr. Top Hat brings up in chat, they're going to show their full speeches after filming during the break, but they'll cut out them walking to the stage. It's still disrespectful.
Yeah, like, what does that even cut out? Like, why not just show it in real time? That's...
Okay, then if you want to do things during actual commercial breaks, you're going to make it harder on people like us who are watching the show live, and this is the time you go to the bathroom, this is the time you get food.
It's being live streamed. They're making a big thing about that. Wasn't it already via ACB Go?
Which I cannot access that site for some reason.
So does that mean they're live streaming it for free? Like worldwide?
I hope so. I need to watch it somehow. For obvious reasons.
Oh, don't worry. We have our ways. If we have to fuck over Disney, we fuck over Disney.
I don't have access to television. That's just how it works. I have to look at alternate means.
It's the same way we fuck over wrestling at the minute.
Shoot. So before we get started, I do want to throw out a PSA. To anyone that's in live chat tonight, thank you for joining us. Number one. Number two, if you want to give your Oscar predictions and you want them read out loud here on this podcast, feel free to put them in chat. But only put the category that we are currently on. It is, number one, it is hard as I'll get out to work with this YouTube chat anyway, especially trying to keep track of everything and being topical at the time. So we'd really appreciate it if you stay on topic of what we're currently talking about. I know there's a chance to jump the gun, to talk about other categories and other things, but please don't do this tonight. This is the final time we're going to be doing predictions. We want to make sure we get everybody's commentary out there, whether it's us in the panel or it's in our live chat. So, Brian says, I think the Academy should end with ABC and move to CBS. The network doesn't have a movie award show. It has the Grammys, the Tonys, and the Emmys. CBS is kind of like a stepchild that you just want to leave in the attic, I guess you would say. You know, the movies, like the horror movies. Because CBS has not been relevant for a long time. Not really. I mean, obviously, CBS was big with me when Dave Letterman went over.
I was getting ready to say.
Huh?
I was getting ready to say, it's odd to hear you say that because of Letterman.
Well, I went right to Letterman, so why not Fox as the cool guy? I don't think Fox is relevant enough anymore. Fox had its heyday in the 90s, and it hasn't really been important except for maybe reruns of Cops and The Simpsons, which will never die, just like Keith Richards and cockroaches. So, needless to say, I mean, I don't think Fox really wants to pay the money for the rights to do the Academy Awards. I mean, they might. I mean, they have the Billboard Music Awards. That's what they have. That's what their bringing to the table when it comes to award shows. Family Guy, yeah, that's another show that's been here for quite a while. Brian said he's doing his prediction video next week. Well, that's cool. Just play the Oscars in movie theaters to fit the theme. There are a lot of theaters, unfortunately none close to me yet, that are doing this exact thing. They do a red carpet, they do costume contest, they actually show the entire ceremony in one of their bigger screen auditoriums. And I would love to go to something like this. But number one, I wouldn't be able to go because I have a reason to chat with you guys live, so I wouldn't be able to do so. But it's something I would look into that I would like to go to if I was able to. Especially this coming from the guy who still hasn't watched most of the Oscar-nominated movies this year because I just haven't had time. Let's see. So you think you can dance? Oh, Teen Choice Awards. Yeah, that's true. Fox has very highly rated animated shows that are way past their prime. Yes. What are they wanting to stream the Oscars on YouTube TV? I mean, streaming could work for the Oscars too. It's possible. I mean, it's clear that sometimes they care about numbers. Sometimes they care about what their ratings are. Sometimes they don't. I.e., look at the original song category most years. Needless to say, they obviously want to get those numbers up. That's why they were talking about bringing the Avengers to do to present and also like maybe like co-host or something like that. I mean, the Muppets idea was the best idea that I heard so far, but we're not going to have a host. We've got a lot of time to kill, and they're already cutting categories to air during the commercial breaks.
For now.
This show is off the rails before it even starts. No, I don't have cable either, cool guy. Hence the conversation we had like 5 minutes ago. I have to watch it online because there's no other way to watch it for me. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Netflix. I don't have anything like that. I don't even have Sling anymore. Needless to say, I don't really have a way to watch it unless I use alternate means. Hence Ashley.
Alternate means.
Most TV shows are declining. Super Bowl is the lowest it had been in years. Who cares? I hate sports, so I don't care about that. But you're right, honestly. Declining ratings anyway, because most people are cutting the cable right now. They really are. And I don't blame them at this point.
I don't want to say there's breaking news, Owen, but just
Dear
noticed
God.
on my Twitter feed that Jimmy Uso got arrested.
That's not breaking news. I actually was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio from a little bit ago. I already heard that.
Legit penitentiary.
Yep.
Oh,
We'll talk about that on Monday. So remember in the show 30 years ago, the duet with Rob Lowe and Snow White? Yeah.
When Rob Lowe was like, well, no, it wasn't them. I think it was. Oh, what was the when the right? I think it was the bit at this like the start of like Robin Williams and stuff. Can't remember exactly. I'll see if I can find the write-up that they did about it. There it is. Look back at the debacle at the hostless Oscars.
Everybody's still upset about Super Bowl not playing Sweet Victory. I don't blame them, really, and I'm not even a SpongeBob mark, but still, I can understand why. Key and Peele would be great hosts. One is a presenter, and the other is a nominee. Yeah, I could say the same thing about Flight of the Conchords.
Snow White tries to engage
it would
Tom
be correct
Hanks.
on both statements for different years.
Snow White tries to engage Tom Hanks, Sigourney Weaver, Dustin Hoffman, and Glenn Close. All give her the same frozen smile and 1,000-mild stare of a combat veteran.
So that being said, thanks everyone for joining us live, and leave your predictions in the live chat when we are on that category, and we will go through them. So, AJ, you've got the order this year.
Yeah. Also, it's like, I mean, I've got my own order, but as far as them being like in alphabetical order,
right?
Whoever made these lists is apparently still in kindergarten.
Wow.
When they're alphabetized, we're going by A and the being under A and T. So, and I believe the actors are alphabetized by first name. So,
wow.
Yeah, I think this is IMDb too. So, so it's them that are still in kindergarten. So
Wikipedia wins.
Hey, the way you're talking, it sounds like we're referring to Gold Derby.
Wikipedia wins.
Eddie Redmayne Hart.
All right, so are we starting?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
All right, we're gonna start off easy. Now, mind you, I'm also I don't know about anybody else, but I, of course, am not stupid or arrogant enough to speak in absolutes about any category. I feel very, very, very certain about some things, but I will refuse to speak in absolutes. And with that being said, we're going to start with animated.
That's fine.
We have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mariah, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Of course, for a while there, I kind of thought we were going to have somewhat of a race here, with, Incredibles 2 kind of being the safe, easy choice, like when they chose Big Hero 6 over How to Train Your Dragon 2 and all that. Isle of Dogs being the kind of offbeat choice that seemed possible, but this has just been a relentless sweep up to this point.
Yeah.
To the point that I don't see how this isn't Spider-Man. But, once again, they do love, love, love their Disney movies. So, I don't think Incredibles is dead or anything. Even if it loses every single thing ever, the Disney movie is never dead and animated. But with that said, I'm confidently going Spider-Man.
Especially when Disney's rigging it, possibly.
Ashley, what do you got?
Oh, Spider-Man. I don't think it needs to sort of really be said with the streak that it's had and the fact that the best Spider-Man film that might have been ever made, possibly apart from 2, is an animated one. Which goes to show you Sony live action better be good on Far From Home.
I neglect you neglected to mention the incredible Mark Webb versions of the Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know what you're talking about with his second Spider-Man movie. Here on this network especially, we will not let you forget the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
No, we should, because Electro was completely shit compared to the comic version. And to some extent, Dane DeHaan's Goblin.
I said everything.
He turned into the Green Goblin because he had a fucking skin rash.
I said everything I need to say about that movie in 2014, and I'll leave it at that.
We all love Mark Webb here on this network, some more so than others, and some for different reasons. So, Brian says, oh yeah, do you think they're going to nominate Tom Hanks next year for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
Well, the director's already got 2 nominations to her name now, so that's a good start.
I'd say somewhat likely. It's releasing it around the sort of Christmas time-ish to sort of max appeal as well in terms of getting interest from the voters in that sort of window where it needs to. So,
I mean, we saw, again, it's like we saw what happened last time he played an iconic.
That is not the big snub of that year for him.
Trying to think what is. Uh-oh, what's going on?
As I say, does he keep freezing for you too?
Oh no, the internet's gone dead.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah, we're having technical issues apparently every once in a while. Spider-Verse will win. Phil Lord and Chris Miller will get the Oscar that was stolen from them. So that's cool guy. My internet's not enjoying things right now. Cool guy. We'll get to that in a minute.
Why did that never occur to me?
Yeah.
I knew they were involved, but it just didn't occur to me that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to be Oscar winners. Nice.
Brian says that category I'm really scared of. Cassie says Spider-Man. Top Hat says them fighting words, Owen. AJ has a video on this network you need to check out.
What happens if the VFX goes to Solo, A Star Wars Story? Do they get it as well?
Problem with Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, it's released on the same day as Frozen 2. Two completely different movies, though. They both are going to do good for different reasons.
I didn't even realize Tom Hanks produced the Mamma Mia films.
Yeah.
It's a great night for technical issues tonight, folks. Sorry if there's if you guys are having problems on your end as well.
That must be your connection, because the way it was sounding weird on your end. I think AJ and myself can hear ourselves clear.
I can hear you. It just seems like it pauses every once in a while. Cool Guys said, I love 500 Days of Summer. We all do. Again, some more so than others. Brian says, but if Spider-Man does it, it will be the first non-Disney film to win since Rango. Other non-Disney winners, Shrek, Spirited Away, Wallace and Gromit, and Happy Feet. Makes sense. They also included producers as of recently. Okay. So we're all on the same page. Spider-Man across the board. Next.
Once again, refusing to speak in absolutes. Foreign.
Nice.
We have Cavern, Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, and Shoplifters. Now, about the whole not speaking in absolutes thing, I'd just like to repeat what I said at BAFTA real quick. Obviously, Roma's looking really likely as far as a picture winner goes. So it seems like you would just immediately gravitate towards that the same way you would about any foreign movie that's in picture will probably win foreign. But like I said, it's kind of unprecedented that the foreign movie looks like a winner. So it seems more likely they might open up spreading the love in foreign. So, like, if Cold War should take this, I honestly would not even consider it a surprise, despite the fact. But yeah, I'm gonna stay safe and still say Roma.
Ashley.
Obviously, I'm going with Roma, but in my choice, I'd sort of prefer it to be Shoplifters rather than Cold War.
It's weird that 3 of these have like more than one nomination. That's kind of a rarity for foreign.
Pretty much.
Which means Capernaum wins.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oscar for animated movie goes to the director. Chris Lynch is like nominee Bruce Almighty, better than the original. Top Hat says Roma. Cool Guy says Roma. Cold War has a disadvantage because far less people have seen it. Chris Lynch says Ratatouille. Interesting.
Well, don't forget also, foreign kind of has a knack for throwing curveballs at its winner.
Oh yeah, it has screwed us over many prediction years.
I don't think it matters if something in foreign is popular or not.
Oh. The Immigrants was nominated for picture and only lost foreign film due to weird Academy rules, says Cool Guy. Cassie says Incredibles 2 is a backup for animated. I honestly really can see Cold War winning this. I really can. I think it could be like a...
I tell you, nobody's giving Shoplifters a chance. I'm saying this to fill gaps while the internet, when Owen's end goes weird.
Quiet you. Next. Is The Death of Stalin nominated, or is that too early?
No.
Random.
It didn't make it in for. I guess it'd be adapted, wouldn't it? Because it's based on the graphic novel. Or instead, you need the 4th different version of A Star Is Born to be nominated instead.
Cassie. Next category, AJ.
Documentary.
Okay.
We have Free Solo, Hale County This Morning, This Evening, Minding the Gap of Fathers and Sons, and RBG. So, of course, with what was the front runner not being here now, there's a pretty clear backup with RBG, especially since it's got a 2nd nomination.
Right.
And it's obviously extremely topical.
True.
With that said, it's not like that second nomination is editing; it's song. So,
which it has no chance of winning.
It feels a little irrelevant that it's got more than one nomination. And as we talked about in the BAFTA video, I was kind of starting to get a bit confident in Free Solo. And one thing it was kind of reminding me of was we were talking about when Icarus won last year in place of Faces Places. But I actually went back to 2011 when we had like Paradise Lost and a Wim Wenders documentary and like a war veteran documentary and Undefeated, that football documentary one.
Right.
I think there was an environmental one that year too. So yeah, I don't think it always has to be like the topical one, or as we obviously know, the obvious one. So I think, and especially how it just seems to be getting more and more attention as it goes. It also just got its digital release like yesterday. I'm gonna say, I mean, I know RBG is like, seems like a really obvious choice, but I'm gonna say Free Solo.
Okay. Ashley, what do you got?
Having now seen it in IMAX, I sort of have to go with Free Solo. Yeah. It's rare that you go to 2 different screens in 2 different months, and there's still people gasping. First one was just because of the stuff, and then the second one was it's a fucking IMAX screen, and that's 30,000 feet. Holy shit!
All right.
But as I say, RBG would be an easy second. I haven't seen the other 3.
Let's see. Cool Guy says RBG is the most topical. Top Hat says Free Solo. BAFTA win helps push it. Cool Guy says RBG has a huge disadvantage at BAFTA because it's about an American figure.
So's Vice.
Yep. Exactly.
Hot damn. He got it. He got it. Hot damn.
We'll get to that later. Don't worry. Conversation in chat about sorry to bother you, Hereditary, and 8th grade not having any nominations. Free Solo is the documentary version of The Walk. We already had that movie come out.
Man on Wire.
It's called Man on Wire. It was amazing.
Is that an argument for it to win then, since Man on Wire did? Is that what they're saying?
That's possible. Love Man on Wire. Love watching The Walk in IMAX too. That was pretty amazing. I know AJ could never do it, but I did, and it was incredible. Did it in 3D too. Welcome, Jack Mooney, to chat. Hereditary is better than A Quiet Place, says Cool Guy. AJ, do you have a retort for this?
What was that?
Hereditary is better than A Quiet Place?
No, but like, I mean, they're so close to me, it doesn't really like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get passionate about it.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's better. I'd say it's on a par with, you know.
Right.
If we had a best horror category like you do at the MTV Awards, that would be where I'd legit want to do a 50-50 split and give it to both of them. Because they stood out amongst a whole lot of other rubbish.
Well, I should have went with Free Solo here. And I figured you guys would go with it. And it makes sense to go with it. But I think it was brought up.
This is where Owen makes his move to try and win this from behind.
Wouldn't be the first time. Definitely not the last. I don't see them not trying to get Ruth Bader Ginsburg on stage. I think it'd be a big deal if they actually did it. So I'm going with RBG here because I'll tell you right now, Jennifer Hudson's not winning. So it's the only chance they've got. Unless they just have her present randomly.
But at
That's
the same
possibility too.
When people have these theories of they'll get something to win to do a specific thing or make a specific statement, that's assuming 8,000 people are thinking the same thing.
This is true, of course.
Which is always a stretch.
Would the release of On the Basis of Sex negatively affect RBG? Because you've seen, you know, sort of the movie twice to some extent.
That probably have more of a negative impact on the basis of sex, because RBG would have come out long before people would have seen it.
Oh yeah.
So on the basis of sex would seem like the redundant one, especially since it was like 2.5 hours. Well, the documentary's an hour and a half.
Documentaries on the TV.
So yeah, I'm going with RBG here.
I guess, are we sticking with the documentaries now, AJ?
I don't know why. It is. I mean, Diane Warren wrote the song, right? I'm just going with Jennifer Hudson performing it, so that's the reason I said that.
Actually, I had live action written down, but yeah, let's go through documentaries.
Jack Mooney says RBG due to political climate. Cassie says she doesn't care about who wins documentary.
Well, documentary short is the double segue, because then it segues into the short.
Chris Lynch is also talking about documentary, and Cool Guy are both talking about documentary now. Better than any documentary this year.
All right, so documentary short.
Yep.
We have A Night at the Garden, Black Sheep, Endgame, Lifeboat, and Period End of Sentence. I mean, I chose something here kind of with ease, but A Night at the Garden is like, once again, you could say it's like topical and it's actually getting a lot of attention, but just given and I was trying to think, I was pretty sure there was for lack of a more tactful way to put this, another short documentary about terminally ill people recently that didn't win. So it's not like it's a go-to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went ahead and went with Endgame as far as being like just like emotionally involving and obviously very accessible. It's the only Netflix one. And like I said, the whole Disney conspiracy thing, where the only one they want to air that a Disney movie is not up for is this one, yet they've got a movie called Endgame in it. So, yeah, that's not actually the reason I chose it, but that's
of course
what I'm going with.
What you got, Ashley?
Hang on, I need to. I'm going to go with Lifeboat instead. I think that might be sort of more of a better topic to cover, the refugee stuff. Thing about releases, I believe Period End of Sentence is getting released on Netflix tomorrow. So it is going to have some sort of, release.
That should help depending on when voting is.
Yeah. Quick to goal derby. Tell me when the voting closes.
Ironically enough, Lifeboat is one of these best documentary shorts that does not have a Wikipedia page. The more you know.
Yeah, but most of them don't have US distribution anyway. The only one that does is Endgame because of Netflix. Voting closes Tuesday on the Oscars.
Be interesting to see if that works out. This could be a good night for Netflix, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it kind of already is, even before they're even announced.
To say the least. So I'm also going to, before we get into my prediction, we'll go into chat real quick. What is going on with this? Top Hat says Black Sheep. Brian thinks that Jennifer Hudson could get nominated next year for Cats.
Yeah, but the problem with Cats is the entire fucking cast could be supporting.
That's exactly what Brian just said.
If there's a best ensemble thing, Cats has got a chance of fucking winning that easy.
Let's see. End of game or period end of sentence says Cool Guy. Can't decide which one. He says, I'd be shocked if Cats gets any above the line nominations. Chris Lynch is talking about Velvet Sunscreen with Jake Gyllenhaal. Cool Guy says Night at the Garden, very topical, but has a disadvantage of being only footage. Brian talking about Tom Hooper directing Cats, but it's released the same day as Star Wars. Should be interesting. We have a question in chat for the panel. What was the documentary on Netflix about the Asian girl trying to make a movie?
Not sure off the top of my head. I don't think it's in here, though, is it?
That being said, I'm going to agree with AJ and go with Endgame here. But I will say that the first thing I saw immediately was we're on the same page, AJ, 100%. You know, I don't know your predictions. You don't know mine. But I thought Night of the Garden originally. But I ended up sticking with Endgame. Lifeboat's an intriguing prospect. But, I mean, I just looked and saw what made the most sense in my head, and I'm going with Endgame.
All right, live action short.
Cool Guy says Endgame. Oh, Shirkers?
That vaguely rings a bell because of when it was up in the other categories, but I'm not entirely sure.
AJ, rank the documentary shorts.
Well, I only saw 3 of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Endgame, Black Sheep, and Night of the Garden.
Okay.
Okay.
And we are moving on.
Live action short.
Live action short.
Okay, first off, Fauve, is that how we're saying this? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Well, that's what.
Quick, back to the Academy bloody video.
Yeah, that's the only time I've heard it said out loud. We'll say it that way. I'll have to say it.
Marguerite.
I was concerned because I have to say it more than once.
Shoot!
we have Detainment, Fauve, Marguerite, Mother, and Skin. So anything that's not Detainment, right?
That's a good bet.
The only thing that makes me cautious to say Fauve is it's the only one I've seen, and that's actually usually a sign that it won't win. But so yeah, this one's more of just a guess. I don't really have much to go into this. Except the only strategic somewhat choice I'm making here is I doubt it's Detainment because of the whole the parents are pissed off thing. The parents were pissed off before it was nominated, and then you can imagine after it actually was nominated. So,
what are your thoughts on it by any chance? You said you saw it. What did you think of it?
No, I've only seen Fauve.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's
like chat.
Like I said before, it's basically Gus Van Sant's Jerry just with kids. So if that appeals to you.
Cool Guy says Skin. Chris Lynch says Marguerite. Brian talking about 1917, the Sam Mendes war movie being released on Christmas.
That's what he did. That's what he did instead of Bond films.
What do you got, Ashley?
I fear it's going to Detainment.
Ooh.
I fear. Because they're like, oh, what a great film. And then it causes, I mean, I hope it doesn't, but if it causes the family to sort of like nearly try and kill themselves, it'd be like, great publicity there, Academy. You're causing great influence in the film. So on moral grounds, I have to say Fauve. And apparently that's how it's pronounced.
Oh, thank Christ.
I fear it's Detainment, but I'm going with Fauve because that's reckoned by quite a few people to be the sort of next favorite. Again, with all these shorts, it's like, apart from some of the animated ones, it's like, I hadn't seen them, so I have to go on consensus of the outer world, and Fauve seems to be the one that's in or around Detainment.
Cool Guy thinks that Detainment could win, potentially. Cool Guy says, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wins Best Picture, and Brian says, don't get AJ's hopes up. We did do Summer of Tarantino after all.
I say don't speak in absolutes. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will be a masterpiece. That's an absolute.
That's a guarantee. That's a Vince McMahon guarantee right there. 4 out of 5 of the live-action shorts are about kids and in danger. Well, no one's getting a point on this one, or we all are, because Fauve is going to be my answer too.
Yeah, and imagine if Caroline was actually made it. You could throw that in too.
True.
I just want it to be Mother and Jennifer Lawrence gets up and they're like, no, not this. That was last year. Go away.
And we move on to our next category.
Animated short.
Oh boy. Okay.
We have Animal Behavior, Bow, Late Afternoon, One Small Step, and Weekends. Obviously, Bow could be seen as a favorite because everybody saw it when they saw Incredibles 2, and everybody thinks it's all emotional, even though it's actually just weird as hell. We've got Late Afternoon, which is kind of the sentimental choice. One Small Step, the basic-ass choice. Sorry I'm so judgmental towards the animated shorts. But
you usually are, though. I mean, I can understand that.
Animal Behavior, if they want to go for something funny and quirky and all that. But I said Weekends because it's kind of all the above. It's fucking weird. It's funny. The animation's unique, and it's So why not?
Considering as well that took the Annie.
Oh, well.
That's probably a pretty good shout. Then again, Bow wasn't even nominated.
That's interesting.
In that list. So I'm going to stick with Bow, but I would not... I wouldn't be like, why the fuck did Weekends win? Because that's clearly with the Annie win. It's momentum enough to at least be second. Watch it be one of the other three.
Top Hat says Bow. Cool Guy says I can also see Mother winning because people love it until the end. Brian says I forgot to mention there was a sequel to Unbroken Path to Redemption.
Oh no! Don't remind me.
Yeah, it's like one of those religious movies, but it's legitimately a sequel to the Angelina Jolie movie.
Smurfy Boy asks who's lead and supporting between Decap and Pitt.
I'd say DiCaprio is probably leading, and Pitt will probably be middle ground, but it would be supporting. That's even if they go that route.
Okay. Jack Mooney says Bow wins by default because Incredibles isn't winning animated. Cool Guy says Late Afternoon. I keep listening to us. People say it's their favorite. Top Hat says, can I change mine to Olaf's Frozen Adventure? Cool Guy says, boo this man. Indeed. World of Tomorrow also won the Annie and I lost, even though it's amazing. I mentioned many times I don't think the Annie matters at all, but I guess we'll see what happens.
That was crazy when World of Tomorrow lost.
Yeah. I'm going with Bow here. Honestly, this is a category where you don't always want to bet on Disney because they lose a lot. But in this case, I don't think they're going to.
They've won a lot, but they've lost a lot too. So it's like
isn't it like now? It's roughly like every 2 years, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, and of course, one of the few times they do win, that stupid Bird on the Beach movie wins. That was dumb as hell.
Did you like Paperman?
It's fine. It's a little cheesy, but I guess that's the point.
I like Paperman a lot.
Plus, it was before Wreck-It Ralph, so it's like it's just kind of it's good by association.
Ever since Paperman won, there's been a pattern for animated short recently where they give it to Disney short the next year and then give it to a non-Disney short.
I've actually looked at it. It's
Piper.
The gap at the minute between Disney is 4 years. Because Paperman won in 2012, then we have Mr. Hoopla in 2013, Feast in 2014. I guess that was... What was Feast on? Did they show that, or was that just a generic short?
2000. You said 2014?
Oh, that was the Big Hero 6 one. Thanks, Wikipedia. It's just because it didn't stand out as the Disney one because it was like, wait, it's in 3D? When the fuck did I see a Disney movie in 3D that wasn't a Marvel film? None.
Cool Guy says Mutiny on the Bounty got 3 actors in lead that led to the creation of the supporting categories.
Yeah.
It forced their hand. So that means Cats next year will have to have best supporting actor and actress, because it's like, there's too fucking many of you.
I can't even imagine how the hell you can translate that to screen.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
And with Tom Hooper, so everybody's going to be on the left fucking side of the screen.
But we saw how well it worked with Phantom.
I can't tell if that's a compliment or sarcasm, honestly.
I like Phantom. I won't deny that.
Phantom the Opera. The opera is good. But Gerard Butler's performance...
I thought it was fine.
Phantom of the Paradise is a better film than Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler.
And I hate Russell Crowe, as everyone knows on this network, but I didn't mind him Les Mis. The funny thing is my computer just paused right there as Ashley was like, going all Kerry Russell and Dark Skies and everything. I'm making that reference forever. We're bringing that back.
It's the Bird Box Challenge. I smash my head on the desk because it fucking wins.
That's why we don't do Monday shows anymore, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Ashley's doing. So there you go.
Smashing your head on the desk, that's more like the Hereditary Challenge, isn't it?
Oh. Phantom of the Megaplex, anyone? That movie was awesome.
No, I need a thick book because I need to Emma Stone it in the favorite.
I thought it was fun. I didn't care. Cool Guy. Up next.
Should we go to visual effects?
Oh, God. Yeah, let's do it.
It's the Disney Award.
Conversation.
As I told you off camera, Owen, this is the only one I'm going to decide in the moment because I still don't know.
I think
it's down to 2. I know I've been saying, oh, well, this is easy. This category's done. Nope. But now it's in my head, and now it's fucking with me. So,
Damn.
So we got Avengers, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, and Solo. Obviously, I got it down to Avengers and First Man.
Yep.
God. Okay, so I was really on the Avengers thing for a long time, and now I'm trying to get off First Man because now that's the one I'm like stuck on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the fact that I'm having this much difficulty. But as I've been saying all year, every time I go against my first choice, I get fucked over.
True.
Either we're gonna see just how cursed I am, or that's true that I should. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Avengers only because it was the first choice, and I've been proven that I should keep doing that throughout the year when I've been screwing myself over. So, yeah.
Real quick, chat is talking about Evita for some random reason.
No sarcasm, no irony here. Antonio Banderas is fucking amazing in that. And it's like his best performance. I swear to God.
Better than Puss.
Well, that's unfair.
Top Hat says Infinity War, but I could easily see First Man taking it. Oscars love them some space movies. Cool Guy says First Man wins. It's War versus Blade Runner, Rise versus Hugo, Dawn versus Interstellar all over again. Chris Lynch says First Man. Jack Mooney says Avengers is winning VFX because Black Panther got robbed because of that stupid rhino scene.
I don't know that Interstellar and Dawn is the best comparison because you're basically saying, yeah, because Interstellar and First Man are space movies, but I mean, compare how much visual effects are in Interstellar versus First Man. Dawn is certainly a smaller movie in that scenario.
Cool Guy says the more CGI-like movie versus the movie with more support from the craft guilds. Murphy Boy says I won't be surprised if Ready Player One wins. Cool Guy says First Man is more Oscar-y. And let's see. If Black Panther was here, it would win. Says Cool Guy. Cassie says Avengers takes the category. Hugo is way less flashy than Rise, though. Very true. I'm going with First Man here.
Interesting.
Honestly, when it comes down to this category, Avengers made the most sense. Christopher Robin really jumps out at me for some reason. I don't know. I'm just kind of nervous about it being here. There's got to be a reason why. And I don't necessarily know if it's the job. It may be here to get over. Who knows? Obviously, if I'm on the heart here, I would go with something like Ready Player One or Solo, but I'm not because it doesn't make sense in my head. And it seems like it's always been a two-race battle between the Avengers and First Man. And I see one of these movies going home empty-handed, and I think it's going to be the Avengers. So.
Well, it's not very hard for Avengers to go home empty-handed with one nomination.
Well, you say the same thing about The Wife, too.
Ooh, what are you trying to say?
I'm not crazy enough to make a no guts, no glory prediction. I'll say that
Somebody's
right now.
going down with a fucking ship.
My ship has changed courses just a little bit. It's a little bit more musical this time around. Next category, please.
This was kind of tough.
Sir?
Yes, Ashley.
I didn't give my prediction.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. I was trying to check on other things. I didn't even get what AJ's was. I'm guessing it was Avengers, was it?
Yes, you went with Avengers. Go ahead, Ashley. We'll go out of order here. Sorry, I just went to the chat because there's a bunch of stuff in chat.
I know. All I need to do is this.
Makes
that tells you everything. That one scene probably deserves it. With like, if you look at the making of it, there's about 79 different effects in one on the one like scene of the click.
Apparently, I am trying to sabotage you on purpose, Ashley.
Yes. Who's smoking crack now?
There are so many failed Oscar movies, especially a lot of positive films. Top Hat says, no one puts Ashley in the corner.
Well, you do, because it's like there. You know.
I don't know if that's a corner or not. I can't really tell the way you have things set up there. AJ is clearly in a corner, and I'm definitely in a corner, so I don't know.
That's actually an illusion. The corner's all the way back there.
So it's an Inception corner.
Jeez. Cool Guy says First Man will win. AJ and Ashley are sinking with the ship. We'll find out.
Well, speaking of First Man winning...
Watch it be none of them. Watch it be like actually like Ready Player One or Solo or Christopher Robin.
I already brought that up.
All right.
I know.
Okay. You want me to pick First Man for something?
Oh, man. Go ahead.
The next category is sound editing.
Oh, okay.
Where we have A Quiet Place, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, and Roma. The problem here, number one, is I don't think they're going to line up, and we don't have a war movie to fall back on.
One could be a correct statement. One is definitely correct, so we'll find out.
I feel like Black Panther, First Man, and Bohemian Rhapsody are beating the shit out of each other for wins here, in both of them. But as I stated, I went with First Man here. It was really just kind of a first instinct sort of thing. But like I said, this is really tough because those three are like, it could be any of them.
Right.
There's not really hardly anything that's swaying why I'm going in one direction or another or another.
Okay.
So yeah, I said First Man for editing, sound editing.
Okay, let me make sure I talk to Ashley first, but I want to bring up chat.
I mean, you don't have to.
Sound editing is A Quiet Place for Top Hat. Cool Guy says Black Panther winning because Dark Knight did. What do you got, Ashley? Sound editing.
This is a tough one. I am agreed with AJ in that I don't think we're going to get a double. However, I'm literally making a last-minute switch on the call between editing and mixing. I'm going to say Black Panther.
Cool Guy says no film since Skyfall has won editing without a Best Picture nomination, and that was a tie.
So?
Precedents are broken every day.
Stato.
Also stating that Roma could pull a sweep and win both categories. Not to give away my hand here, but I'm going to. I do have a movie winning both categories. And I'm sticking with Bohemian Rhapsody here.
Right, so I'm putting that in now on the chart.
Yep, editing and mixing to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay. Well, the rest of us are going to do mixing.
I know you are. Go ahead.
We have A Star Is Born, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, and Roma. You can say A Star Is Born is dead till your face is blue. It's not. I don't think it's dead here. Obviously, no, it's not dead in song either. But I mean, here, even if it's not in editing, I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is really this indescribable force telling me I should say Bohemian Rhapsody here. Absolutely. I also should be saying there's a potential of First Man also, but I went with Black Panther here.
Okay.
But like I said, it could be anything.
Let's see. Cassie says 2 choices: Bohemian Rhapsody and A Quiet Place, one for music and one for solely relying on sound. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. I have lost a lot of weight since I left. That's for sure. Running 10 miles this morning, actually, before I went to work. Cool Guy says, don't feel like First Man is beloved enough to win this category. Unlike Skyfall, it was no box office smash. Top Hat says First Man for mixing. Cool Guy says Star Is Dead here. Bohemian took its spotlight. Cool Guy says Bohemian Rhapsody wins. Talking about failed movies, Early Man, Annihilation, Death of Stalin. You were never really here. Tully, Won't You Be My Neighbor? Ridiculous, but did finally air on PBS last week. I almost could have watched it if I had television. Leave No Trace. Cool Guy says I could see Roma winning this just like Slumdog. And Top Hat says Bohemian Rhapsody, you can't sit in a car and bang your head to Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, you can. Watch Wayne's World. So, let's do this. Makes it so much easier. Ashley, what do you got for mixing?
Because of my Switch.
Yep.
I'm going with Bo Rap Horseman.
There we go.
It's just because when you get the sound of it, the mixing that it does between the not Freddy and the Rami Freddy and the real Freddy, amongst all of it, is just really well done and trying to, mixing the sound of probably like all the various old takes from the Galileo bit.
Yeah,
right.
I really feel like I'm going to regret not going Bohemian Rhapsody here, but my soul kept telling me to gravitate towards Black Panther, so I did.
I've got more confidence that Bohemian Rhapsody is going to win at least one of the sound categories, but I'm going all in and saying it's going to win both. I'm getting a point, but I don't know if I'm getting both.
Yeah, I'd have thought it's going to get at least one of them. And for me, I'd say mixing is probably more likely than editing with the soundscape. Then again, how they've assessed that in previous years, mixing is actually editing and editing is mixing, because nobody can tell me what the fucking complications are about what the difference is. That's why BAFTA just go, call it sound and go fuck it.
Pretty much. So I feel like A Star Is Born does need the category because it might only win one Oscar for song. Cassie, that looks more and more likely as we get closer.
But it still means Bradley Cooper wins an Oscar.
This is true. Cool Guy says, your soul is leading you towards the wrong sound category. Editing is far more likely. Well, it's funny because I have Bohemian Rhapsody in editing one way. Maybe I'll have it another way. I guess you'll have to wait and find out. Sound editing is the creation. Mixing is the putting it all together. Says Cool Guy. We've done this for how many years and we still can't figure out which one's which?
Trust me, people will eventually give us definitions and we'll still be like, well, that could easily be the other.
AJ, next category.
Makeup.
And hair.
And hairstyling.
Do not be hairist.
We have Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. Like I said, I don't like to be 100% anything.
Yep.
Which means this could be Mary Queen of Scots. I was never really feeling Border, but once again, it's not like it's impossible. But, you know, yeah, I got a lot of confidence in Vice here.
What do you got, Ashley?
I have to say Vice as well, just for everything that they do on Bale, mainly. The Mary Queen of Scots stuff, it just feels a little... Some of it felt like it's like being too Oscar baity and trying to be that dramatic with the makeup and the hair. Because there has been more of a thing with prosthetics, and you know, some of the time, at least the early part of Mary Queen of Scots, it's more like, oh, Margot's just got less makeup on. It's only when she's got the pox, boom, that that's when she gets all imperfectioned and everything like you see in the trailers. So, yeah, for me, it's Vice.
Top Hat, Cool Guy, Chris Lynch, all of them say Vice. Cool Guy says, according to Academy history, this category might as well be makeup. Smirky Boy says Bradley Cooper will win the Oscar because he's not listed as a songwriter officially.
Oh, trust me, he'll fucking claim it. He'll fucking claim it. It's his film.
It's true.
They fucking snubbed me. He'll be drunk at the Vanity Fair party. My Oscar.
Did this person correctly predict where we're going next?
Maybe. I think personally the Oscars should split hair and makeup and expand both to 5. If we're going to add more categories to the Oscars, Cool Guy, I wouldn't have an issue with it because at least would differentiate between the two.
I don't know whether I'd split them. I'd just expand makeup and hair to 5.
No, because there's movies that are just hair and the movie that are just makeup. Then there's the random movie that's both. And that one never wins.
Yeah,
oh,
but
by the way,
in Vice and Mary Queen of Scots, you got both.
So I'm going with Vice here.
I'm pretty sure that isn't Steve Carell's real hair.
I have been really on the Vice bandwagon this entire season. And it's not like I'm duck cover suppressive fire right now. No, it's just, it seems more and more the looking at all the other categories, this is one of the only ones I think it has a chance to really win. So I'm going to go with it. Top Hat says Gaga will give her speech. Cooper will stumble on stage. If he doesn't, he's failed as an actor.
No, he'll get up on the stage and just have a giant piss on stage. Imitating life.
So apparently, since AJ already alluded to it, let's go into our next category.
Yeah, of course it's song.
Yes.
Song.
We have Shallow from A Star Is Born, All the Stars from Black Panther, The Place Where All Saints Go from Mary Poppins Returns, All Fight from RBG, and When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings for The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. And we could debate some other ones here, but I think I'll just say Shallow and move on.
Ashley?
I mean, do I throw a spanner in the works? No, of course I don't. It's Shallow.
Let's see. Brian talking about a bunch of movies that got snubbed this year when it comes to the categories. Chris Lynch says Vice was so pretentious. Cool Guy says Oscars clearly doesn't give a rat's ass about hair. Why do you think American Hustle, Jackie, Florence Foster Jenkins, La La Land, Bohemian Rhapsody, I, Tonya, Black Panther, and Beauty and the Beast were snubbed? Top Hat says Shallow and says, and the Oscar goes to Sam Smith. There's only one Sam Smith that matters, and I work with her. Shout out.
From out of nowhere.
Cool Guy apparently saying Bradley Cooper's going to pull a Brian Pillman and try to piss on the stage. Random.
Hey, it'd make a show with no host fucking exciting.
Nah, I don't think that's going to happen. Cool Guy says Shallow will win, but I could see all the stars winning with the way A Star Is Dead is performing. Oscar should open with the performance of Shallow, says Murphy Boy. It seems pretty much like a foregone conclusion that Shallow's going to win, but All the Stars does have a lot behind it. And again, I don't think anything is going to beat Shallow right now. I really don't. And it shouldn't either. So it needs to win something, and it's going to win something, and I'm good with that.
I completely forgot that 2011 only had 2 nominees.
Yep.
Oh.
Then there was the A.R. Rahman Love Fest.
Well, no, because Peter Gabriel was in there for Wally as well, remember?
Yeah, he didn't even perform.
Well, you know.
I don't freaking blame him either.
Gabriel was a loose cannon anyway. Yeah, see what I did there, reference to a minute ago.
And more Brian Pillman references.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The couple that's going to perform the Buster Scruggs song just posted their version on YouTube. It's okay, I guess.
Haven't they already established, though, that it's going to be Tim with Willie?
No, I think they said it's the other people.
Fucking Wikipedia is wrong. Quick, nuke it.
Brian says the songwriters of Buster Scruggs performing is basically like when Karen O performed the Moon song instead of Joaquin and Scarlett Johansson. Very true. In any other year, all the stars would have won this category. Yeah, I agree with that, but no, not this year. Next.
Well, no, if a cover was not the Bookies, that would beat Shallow.
They didn't nominate it though.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the shortlist. Stupid fucks.
Thank you. All right, score.
Yep.
We have Black Klansman, Black Panther, Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, and Mary Poppins Returns. This is another one where it's down to 2 and really difficult.
Yep.
Because obviously I've been a big champion of Beale Street's not going to do much.
Yep.
And that was before it only got 3 nominations. But obviously, the thing about it is both Black Panther and Beale Street are 2 movies where, like, when you think about those 2 movies by themselves, the scores are something that gets brought up a lot. Especially when Black Panther first came out. But like I said, even despite the lack of industry support, which, like I said, me of all people has been saying over and over again, Beale Street does not have industry support. I'm aware. I'm going to say Bertel anyway here. Because I'm just feeling. And like I said, it's such a huge part of the movie itself, it's hard to ignore. Even if that's the only thing I think Beale Street's getting.
I know.
Is he swerving us, though? Is he swerving us? I don't know. What's he doing?
I know. I have an idea what he's about to say, and he's really gonna hang out on a limb in a little bit. Trust me, you'll find out what I mean in just a second. So, original score. Let's see. Top Hat says Beale Street. Chris Lynch says Black Klansman. Cool Guy says Black Panther. Smurfy Boy says Beale Street hands down. Cool Guy says, "Have people seen Beale Street?" Let's see.
Yes.
What do you got, Ashley?
Well, I've seen Beale Street. I keep seeing trailers for it as well because I saw it 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. And every time in the trailers, they keep playing the same bloody music that I'm like, damn, that fucking music's good. So, as much as I think they are probably going to try and go the popular route, like with Shallow, and go with Black Panther, I'm saying Beale Street and going down with the ship on this one.
Fair.
This is where Owen says Black Panther, so he gets a point back.
Nope.
Oh.
Not going to do that. Honestly, the only other option I give at this point, I would actually go with the out there choice of Black Klansman.
It's too good to be true. It's way too good to be true.
With that being said, yeah, I'm going to stick with the panel and stick with what I've been saying for a minute now, and that's going to be if Bill Street Could Talk is going to win this.
A part of me thought you were going to go Desplat again. Just a little bit.
I thought about it because I really want to see this happen, but Isle of Dogs is dead in the water, unfortunately.
Well, I'm pretty sure, isn't the record like Desplat wins every second year? Just...
Oh, it's like Halloween and Halloween Horror Nights. It makes sense.
Oh no, there was
every other year.
There was 3 years between Grand Budapest and Shape of Water.
Right.
So next year, what films is he doing next year? Everybody, we better lock it in now.
Murphy Boy says Beale Street is one of his favorite movies of 2018.
Secret Life of Pets. Oh dear.
Okay. All right. Next.
All right. Costume design.
Oh boy, this is a tough one.
The thing about this is, sort of like sound, costume design and production design are sort of one of those cases where it's like, when in doubt, go with both go the same movie for both of them.
Yep.
Like that's happened a shitload in history and recently.
Mm-hmm.
But like sound, I split them up. So and I wasn't quite sure which one. I knew the two I was going to go with. I just didn't know which one was going to be which.
Okay.
So this was fun. I said costumes first.
Yep.
Got Black Panther, Mary Poppins Returns, Mary Queen of Scots, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and The Favorite. Obviously, both production design and costumes are down to Black Panther and The Favorite, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And for this, I've been kind of saying this throughout the season. This is the first time I've really thought about it because I was being a bit too reckless. Because once again, I don't speak in absolutes because I'm not a fucking idiot. I said Black Panther for costumes.
Okay. Ashley?
Yeah, Black Panther as well.
Let's see. Cassie says Mary Poppins Returns. Let's see. Cool Guy says Black Panther. Top Hat says Favorite with Mary Poppins peeking behind. Chris Lynch says Black Panther, but rather it be Buster Scruggs. Murphy Boy says Black Panther and The Favorite. It's between the two. Cool Guy says Black Panther has a passion for its costumes, even if you don't care for it. Yeah. I'm going to go with Sandy Powell in this category. And I'll go with the more popular movie and the one that's going to do better when it comes to the actual winning of the awards. I'm going to go with Favorite.
All right. Did Ashley answer?
Yeah. I said The Panther.
You guys went Black Panther. I went with The Favorite.
All right. So I already showed my cards on this one, but production design.
Same. Oh, never mind. I forgot to say what I was going to say. I'll say it in a minute, I guess.
Production design, we have Black Panther, First Man, Mary Poppins Returns, Roma, and The Favorite. Obviously, I got it down, as I said, to Black Panther and The Favorite. Really could be Black Panther, but I felt like The Favorite. Because I felt like I had to split costumes and production design up, mainly. Okay. So, yeah.
Ashley?
Yeah, I'm saying The Favorite here too. It's been winning a lot of the stuff. Is there? Do we know yet if it's won the Production Design Guild? That's even a thing.
I don't think that's happened. Oh wait, maybe it did.
Yeah, Production Design period went to The Favorite. Fantasy went to Black Panther, and Contemporary went to Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where it's like, I really wish we'd gone through all the guilds before we did this video, but at the same time, it's like the guilds don't really help because of the way they split it up. So,
what we've established is it's either Black Panther or The Favorite.
Yep.
So you're right on that, AJ.
Top Hat says Favorite. Cool Guy says Black Panther. Chris Lynch says The Favorite. Just like with the sounds, I am going for one to win both. And as I mentioned before with costume design, I'm giving The Favorite the win here.
All right. We're into the big shit.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Whether the Academy thinks so or not, we are into the big shit. Are we ready for editing?
Oh, boy. Yep, we are.
One of the more uncertain categories we've had throughout the season.
Yeah, I could say that for sure.
We've got Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, The Favorite, and Vice. Obviously, the guild went for Bohemian Rhapsody and The Favorite. The Favorite surprisingly knocking Vice out. And obviously, every time, I know I said this about the visual effects branch and Black Panther, which turned out to be a huge false thing, apparently. But anytime I'm watching some sort of guild thing and Hank Corbin's name is mentioned, there's applause. But I said when we were predicting BAFTA that Vice was my BAFTA choice, which it did end up taking, I believe, but that Vice wasn't my Oscar pick.
Yep.
And I was actually starting to change my mind on that. But a rewatch yesterday made me slightly change my mind a little bit. So, yep. While not entirely certain, even if Vice was beat by The Favorite at the Guild, Vice can still totally do this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
100%. I'm actually more confident in Vice than I am The Favorite, even though I do think there is a lot of love for The Favorite overall. But as I said, I'll go Bohemian Rhapsody. Another thing that was kind of like something I didn't notice while I was watching it again yesterday, John Ottman, the editor, is also the TV director, I believe, during the Live Aid sequence, which makes perfect sense. So, yeah, I went with Bohemian Rhapsody, especially since Bohemian Rhapsody is basically a 135-minute montage. But then again, so is Vice. So
we'll get to that.
So yeah, that's where I went.
Smurfy Boy says The Favorite. Cool Guy says thoughts on Cold War winning the ASC scripter.
Swerve.
The Cinematography Guild.
Yeah.
I don't know where you got the word scripter from.
I thought it was ASC scripter. I'm sorry, I know it's ASC, but still.
I'm thinking of USC scripter, which
yes,
leads
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is a slight curveball, but we're actually getting ahead of ourselves. Should we talk about that in the next category?
Yeah, wrong. What did we say to you,
cool guy?
What did we say?
Vice winning editing because it has the most editing. Chris Lemp says Vice. Top Hat says no clear frontrunner but Black Klansman. Bry Guy says I have a feeling this year that every Best Picture nominee might be getting something. I disagree with that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. Black Panther for costume design. Cassie's behind there. BAFTA called Hacksaw Ridge. That's true. Cool Guy saying Vice winning editing at BAFTA is a good sign for it and a bad sign for Bohemian Rhapsody.
In what way?
I'm sure. What he said.
Okay.
Predictions. Ashley.
See, I don't want to say it because then I know Vice wins, and then I'm like, oh fuck.
Not necessarily.
The one category that it shouldn't even be here for, because there seems to be a distinct hodgepodge of editing. Just for the final 20 minutes, I rap Horseman. Okay, the story jumps all over the place and the continuity, but that's nothing to do. That's no problem with the editing. That's what got put in the script and all that.
I would think even more than Live Aid, a reason to go towards Bohemian Rhapsody is the song creation montages.
Totally.
Which are a huge portion of the movie.
Best editing / choreography.
So it's good that after all of this, that we all went the same route here. Because just like with sound editing, which isn't the same, I have film editing also going to Bohemian Rhapsody. Brian bringing up Lion taking the Guild, but La La Land winning Oscar for cinematography. We'll get to that in a minute. Chris Lynch says Bohemian Rhapsody will not win a thing. Spoiler alert, I have it winning almost everything. So there.
Sounds like we got a bail here tonight.
Looks like it. Vice is a U.S.-centric film, manages to beat a film that did gangbusters in Great Britain?
I mean, yeah. But to be honest, I think, well, Bohemian Rhapsody's still on in quite a lot of screens in America, though, isn't it?
It's still at my local Cineplex.
Yeah.
And it's going to be here through the weekend.
Annapurna gave up on Vice after 2 weeks.
Yeah, most places gave up on
Because
Vice. I was here for a week.
Because there's an Annapurna picture, it seems, every fucking fortnight. At this rate. I think I saw 3 Annapurna picture trailers in front of stuff this past week.
Next.
Obviously, cinematography.
The Roger Deakins Award.
Yes.
We got A Star Is Born, Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, and The Favorite. As we talked about when we talked about BAFTA, I think Cold War taking the Guild is an interesting curveball, but at the same time, there's been a lot of times where the Guild does not match.
True.
Like, Lion was the first example I used last time.
Which we brought up in chat.
So like I said, once again, though, I don't say anything is 100% anything, but I'm still feeling fine about Quaron, even after the Cold War's kind of surprise.
What you got, Ashley?
Yeah, Roma. Alfonso could do no wrong. I'm just imagining a world in which he goes up for cinematography and screenplay and director and picture. He'll just be like at the end.
And foreign.
I don't have to fucking say anything. And foreign, yeah. He's up. He gets 5 Oscars by himself.
Cool Guy says Roma wins. Top Hat
Like,
says Roma wins.
Take that, Bradley Cooper. I've got 5. How many you got?
BAFTA had no reason to go with Vice, and by no means a front runner. And unlike Bohemian's ace win, editing at BAFTA is not voted only by editors. Talking about Vice clearly has the most editing, which the Oscars love. Chris Lynch was not a fan of Roma overall. Yeah, I'm going with Quaron here.
All right, are we ready for the Big 8?
Oh, are you ready for the Big 8, AJ?
I'm not sure. I hope so. I hope I'm right. Obviously, that means we're starting with adapted screenplay.
Of course we are.
Where we have A Star Is Born, Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Obviously, I was kind of on this Beale Street thing for a little bit here. I'm feeling not confident about the fact that I picked it for WGA. Like if we were doing WGA now, I'd probably go what I'm going to go with now. Which, like I said, I was avoiding for a little bit because I was afraid it was kind of too good to be true. But yeah, I'll go ahead and say Black Klansman. I think the BAFTA win kind of finally pushed me in the direction that could actually probably happen. And once again, Spike Lee's been getting a lot of support throughout this season, like a lot of support. And obviously with director pretty much already in the bag, this would be a really easy way to give him that. So, yeah.
I don't think any of us disagree with this statement at this point. I don't see what Ashley's going to say, but Cool Guy says Black Klansman. Spike will get his Oscar. Top Hat says Black Klansman to give Spike something. Chris Lynch agrees. Ashley, what do you got?
As much as I want to say it, I'm going to stick with Black Klansman as well. But I am that conflicted as to whether it could go to Beale Street. Yeah, I'll stick with Black Klansman, but it's just part of me is thinking, yeah, I'm sticking with Klansman. I'm not going to change it again, but I've declared.
Not to jump ahead, but were you trying to figure out if Beale Street's going to win everything it's up for or not?
Well, no, it's a case of trying to find stuff that other categories are going to win to spread the love that isn't Roma. Because I haven't got Klansman for anything else at the minute. So
I don't subscribe to this theory.
Well, would Get Out of one last year?
Picture?
No. Well, there was plenty of other things Get Out was nominated for as well, but
right.
If you notice, they do like to spread the love in terms of giving recognition to as many of the films that do make it in the picture stuff as much as possible. So
we'll see. Murphy Boys, Black Klansman as well. Yeah, Spike Lee wins. Black Klansman.
Let's hope. Are we ready for original screenplay?
Yes.
We have First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, The Favorite, and Vice. My mind hasn't really changed since we did the prediction video for BAFTA, where I said that Green Book obviously has a lot of support, especially after the editing nomination and the PGA win. And the first thing I said when it won PGA was, well, it's at least going to get a screenplay win, even if it doesn't win picture, because there's obviously that much love behind it.
Right.
Then the more I thought about it, the more it's like, one of the Favorite's strongest aspects is its script, and it's a movie with 10 nominations they clearly love. It definitely feels like much more of a winner because in screenplay they seem to like to think outside the box a little bit more than they usually do. So I think I'm actually going to stick with The Favorite, even though Green Book is like right fucking there. It seemed like the main option for a long time, but I think The Favorite's had a really nice push lately. On top of its BAFTA success, on top of the 10 nominations. So, yeah, I'll stick with it here.
What you got, Ashley?
I'm going with Favorite as well. I think it's the strongest script out of the three I've seen, because I haven't seen First Reformed or Roma yet. Don't worry, I'm going to see Roma before the Oscars so I can actually have an actual opinion about Best Picture. But yeah, just I've said it before. The fact that this has been 20 years in the making, I'd like to see that, and the only one with a female writer as well in a show where it's like, oh, there's not enough women involved. That's probably, I think, apart from Can You Ever Forgive Me in Adapted, I think that's the only spot where, that's the only spot in the Big Eight where women sort of integrate in with the men. So I think there's going to be one sort of success for women somewhere on the show, and I think it's going to come from Favorite.
Okay. Let's see. Cool Guy says Lady Bird didn't win anything because the Critics' Choice Awards are sheep. Yeah, Lady Bird got screwed. Cool Guy says The Favorite. Brian says, speaking of the Big Eight, remember last year I told all three of you to make a Big Eight list on the films you guys want on Oscar night. Right after we do the Spirit and the Razzie recap.
What you mean by
I can't do that because I didn't watch enough movies in 2018.
What you mean out of the 9, we do the 8 in terms of ranking them or something?
Yes, Brian, exactly. Movie Pass did kill me, like it did a lot of people.
Is that what they're saying? We've got to rank the 9.
That's what it looks like.
What we did that time was when we did like our own, like if we did the nominations ourselves.
Yep.
And winners.
Correct. Murphy Boy says Favorite. Cool Guy says God, he wins Worst Picture, though Trump may win Worst Actor. McCarthy will get Worst Actress, says Top Hat. Cassie said Black Klansman. Cool Guy says the guy from Entourage will win the Worst Director. But
I forgot Kevin Conley directed Gotti.
This is the only time this whole night I'm not betting on Alfonso Cuarón.
Right, I'm putting that in now.
This is the favorite.
All right. Well, speaking of betting on Cuarón, usually we do this next to last, but since it's not much of a race, we'll go ahead and do it now. We're ready for director?
We're going to just say Cuarón at the count of 3.
We've got Adam McKay, Alfonso Cuarón, Pavel Pawlikowski, Spike Lee, and Yorgos Lanthimos. Everybody.
Alfonso Cuarón. This race might have been interesting, but it never was.
The thing I'm wondering is if he's getting recognition elsewhere. I wouldn't rule out Lanthimos for the favorite.
Nope.
Yeah, because if you look at not that the Critics Awards matter, but just when you look at the pattern, there were a surprising number of Critics Awards that, like, you could tell they didn't want to give him director and cinematography, so they often split it up. And the person he usually split with was Spike Lee, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to remember. It's not very common that director and picture match up, is it?
Not lately.
It did last year with Shape of Water.
And before that, I think Birdman was the last time before Shape of Water, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was a few years back at least. So,
and then before Birdman was The Artist, and then it was kind of got common again after that.
It's only every 3 years, so that's why I was sort of thinking Lanthimos to some point, but I'm gonna stick with Cuarón just because it's probably the too obvious choice, and I prefer to get wrong an obvious choice rather than a left field sort of going down with a ship choice.
Smurfy Boy said it best. There's no way in hell Cuarón loses director.
Watch him lose. Watch him lose, people.
Yeah, I remember. I'm having flashbacks of when we were doing Picture for 2016. I believe I literally just said La La Land and threw the papers away.
Yep.
Oops.
So let's see. Get one out. Get Out won Best Screenplay. Remember, because I had enough until the last minute. Top Hat says, but AJ, there are no certainties.
Yep. Much as
taxes and Cuarón winning director.
Even though I would choose Spike Lee personally, Lanthimos would be like a really worthy choice. But, you know.
Let's see.
I won't go so as far as to say when I told that guy last year that I'd suck his dick if The Shape of Water won original screenplay.
I remember that.
But I am pretty sure about Cuarón. Okay?
National Porter Review gave directly to Bradley Cooper. Farrelly is not nominated here. Kathy went with Green Book. I'm guessing that was for the previous category. Brian says Paddington 2 and Death of Stalin are eligible for you, AJ, but Shape of Water is eligible for you, Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, you mean... Hang on, didn't we already do the lists? Now I'm getting confused.
No. We're doing them on Sunday. Well, you guys are. I'm just going to sit back and moderate like I do on wrestling shows.
I'm still confused as to what the lists are.
Yeah,
sorry, I need to smoke crack. Apparently.
Just watch the archive. Speaking of that, let's go into our next category.
Supporting actress?
I know where this is going. Go ahead, AJ.
We've got Amy Adams for Vice, Emma Stone for The Favorite, Marina de Tavira for Roma, Rachel Weisz for The Favorite, and Regina King for Beale Street Could Talk.
AJ, is this where I have to say Pollock?
Yes. I'm saying Marina de Tavira.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is.
Because, oh, I'm sorry, did you want elaboration? I can just say her name and move on. Well, here's the thing.
Unlike with Alfonso, there might be some reasoning here because this is like the only recognition she's got from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's from AJ on this podcast. Shoot.
Well, obviously, we already talked about the Marcia Gay Harden thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the obvious comparison. So it's not unprecedented. On top of the fact that it's fucking Roma.
True.
General is on her side. So the idea of the two that it was down to is Regina King and Rachel Weisz. And people are obsessed with that whole vote splitting with Emma Stone thing, which I don't think would be the reason Weisz would lose. I think it's clear if they were going to go in one direction for an actress from The Favorite in supporting, they've already chosen that direction at this point, especially after BAFTA. So for some reason, I don't know if it's, and it's not necessarily because she's a previous winner, because fucking look at Ali, but
we'll get there.
But for some reason, I'm just not feeling Vice. And it's not just because Stallone screwed me over in 2015. I just can't buy Globe and Critics' Choice is going to be enough for somebody that was snubbed by SAG and BAFTA. And everybody keeps bringing up the whole, maybe they didn't see Beale Street. But we know they saw Beale Street because it got BAFTA nominations. And I was pretty sure I heard something about it got in SAG like at the last minute, which has still sometimes screwed people over. Sometimes people that have won, like Waltz in 2012. But I just can't. I mean, it would not surprise me. Like, this is not, once again, not something I'm like saying this will happen, and everybody else that says everything else is wrong. No, clearly it's probably down to Regina King and Vice, but I'm just not feeling either one of them. And like I said, the fact that Roma has just been building and building in momentum, and the fact that it was so out of nowhere that she even got here, what's to say she won't do something out of nowhere all over again?
True.
To bring it full circle, like Marcia Gay Harden. So that's who I'm going to say. And fuck it.
Okay, let's go through chat real quick before we go into Ashley's. Just the big 8 screenplays, acting, director, and picture. So, Ashley, Brian's list is the movies you nominate if you could pick any 2018 movie.
Right.
Top Hat says Regina King, but Wise is coming in hot. Cool Guy says Wise wins, but I don't buy Regina. She has made way too many weaknesses. That happens. Roma wins Best Picture. Seems like that's going to happen anyway. Cool Guy says no BAFTA or SAG noms. Beale Street didn't do well. She hasn't been on stage in forever. Favorite is surging. It's like Stallone versus Rylance. Yeah, it is. BAFTA clearly saw Beale Street, says Cool Guy. Smurfy Boy thinks Regina King has the support to pull it off. Cool Guy says it has 2 nominations for BAFTA, obviously. Avengers for visual effects. Thank you, Keshav Batra, for watching our show. And Cool Guy says, I can't just go with Regina, but I can, and I'm going to. But the thing is, if you want to talk about a surprise after this entire race, the winner here would be Amy Adams. That's the big surprise. She jobs out the entire season and pulls it out at the very last second.
I would not be able to stop laughing for a week if Amy Adams wins.
God, let's hope it's like the BAFTAs and that gets done first. Because AJ's just going to be laughing for 4 hours on the show.
We'll turn him into Robin Quivers here on the podcast. There you go. Well, old pop culture reference alert. Sorry about that. So, reason Marcia Gay Harden won was because all the other nominees won the televised awards and the voters were confused and just went with her.
You don't think the voters are confused this year?
No lie. Cool Guy said, I remember I predicted against Stallone for a long time, changed it to him at the last minute. I'll never forgive myself for it. Granted, I predicted Hardy beforehand, but at least I would still. Guessing there's more to this. So yeah, that being said, obviously I'm going with Regina King here. I've been saying it since day one. I'm going to keep it. Best supporting actor.
Who did Ashley say?
Damn you.
Oh,
Chad.
God. Dang it. I hate my life.
Just to clarify as well, AJ, do you mean Vice or do you mean Vice?
Oh, dear Lord. Ashley, go with your prediction, please.
No, I'm trying to work out whether he means Amy Adams in Vice or Rachel Weisz for Favourite.
In what context?
Well, what is it? What could be the one that takes it away from Marina de Tavira? That isn't Regina King.
Oh, yeah. Rachel Weisz.
Okay, that's why I was getting confused. I'm gonna stick with Regina King. Because if Emma got it sort of here, it would be to some extent from out of nowhere. I'd say Rachel is the stronger of the two performances. I don't think there'd be vote splitting on that though, and I'm hoping they give it to Regina King, but then again, Owen can get angry at this. We saw what happened when, film and television actresses get nominated last year for supporting actress.
True.
And now we go supporting actor.
Cool Guy says, be proud of myself for not buying into the Stallone BS. When was the last time a foreign performance won? It was Cotillard at La Vie en Rose, or was it Roberto Benigni in Life is Beautiful?
Do I have to remind everybody of the 3 words I kept using throughout that entire award season? Will it help?
Yeah.
Will it help?
Smurfy Boy says Marina is this year's Leslie Manville.
She got in BAFTA, didn't she? Manville.
I think so.
Yep, she did, according to Brian.
Yeah, so.
Cool Guy looks like he might sway your way as well, Ashley. AJ, long day.
Isn't Marina is Marina the one that isn't even an actress?
That's Yolita.
Oh, okay. So all I remember is they brought in somebody to just be an accompaniment to the actress, and they just put her in the film. So is Yolita Marina's friend then?
I know. Marina's been like her translator throughout the award season, or at least when they do press together, anyway.
Okay.
So we had a nice, interesting discussion about supporting actress. Are we ready to make it really fucking boring and go to supporting actress?
Really curious.
God damn.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. Last foreign performance one was Eddie Redmayne or Jean Dujardin, but Dujardin was silent, technically. Cool Guy says, by Ashley's logic, Sam Rockwell wins, and AJ will yell at the screen.
Oh,
God damn.
You know the Simpsons meme where you see Fat Elvis shooting out the television? That's exactly what would happen.
We have lost AJ because he has smashed his laptop.
Yes, Andrew.
Not. We kind of need that. Yeah, throws the paper around. Best supporting actor. Let's all say it at the
Oh
same
my
time.
God, is it the cleaners?
Dear God.
All right. Supporting actor, we've got Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Richard E. Grant for Can You Forgive Me, Sam Elliott for Star is Born, and Sam Rockwell for Vice. I like Ali and everything, but I really wanted a race here.
Yep, same.
But Ali, I believe, is just going to... I was going to say that without even meaning it. Waltz his way to his second win. Yeah, being the bad guy in Alita is not going to change a damn thing.
See, that's why Christoph Waltz doesn't get nominated, because if he gets nominated, he guaranteed to win.
We actually have Alita to blame for this. While they were working on it together, he approached Waltz and said, how do you win 2 so close together? Apparently, Waltz told him. So,
of course. That's a bingo.
Ding, 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 ding.
Speaking of that, Ashley, what are you going to say, Ali, as well, or are you just going to done the party?
If we were going to do the bloody thing and do the all on 3, I was just going to swerve everybody and say Richard E. Grant, but no, it's Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Not actually for his performance in Green Book, but for True Detective.
Cool Guy says Ali wins. Smurfy Boy says they snubbed Chalamet for an SNL skit.
I completely forgot that Ali was also in Spider-Verse.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got two. Wait, he's in fucking Madden NFL? In the story mode in that? Holy shit.
Again, there's no way in hell that Ali doesn't win, says Smurfy Boy. Brian says, I can tell AJ is saying he doesn't want Ali to win again for a lead performance. Yeah, this is definitely Mahershala Ali's award to lose at this point. I don't see anybody beating him. But you never know.
All right, on to actress.
Speaking of something, it seems like it's an absolute at this point.
We've got Glenn Close for The Wife, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, Melissa McCarthy for Can You Forgive Me, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, and Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. I would really like to see BAFTA show its place here. Certainly, if I had to choose between the two, I would probably say Coleman. That's pretty close. But, speaking of the word close.
Oh, he got the bad jokes.
Yeah, I mean, this would, I'm trying to figure out how much Coleman would have swept if Close wasn't here. Are we to assume that would have been the case? Regardless, that's something we'll never know anyway, so fuck it. I'm going to say Glenn Close.
Ashley.
I'm going to stick with Glenn Close as well. But I wouldn't object to if it was Coleman, but at the same time, I think Coleman's got a lot more work in her repertoire and a lot more things that she's going to get a lot more buzz off of. And she's only just starting to get all these juicy, meaty roles for the older, for the older woman and whatever. That Glenn Close has had for what? How many years? I think this is going to be the make do and say Glenn Close is getting in the club. You've got plenty of opportunities to do it again, Olivia. Although if you keep hopefully we keep the trend of The Crown and she only does 2 series and doesn't just do the rest of it.
Top Hat says Glenn has it all closed up. Cool Guy says
I think he wanted you to say closed. It just happens to look like closed.
Closed up. Yeah, I know. It's been a long day for a lot of reasons. Cool Guy says Close, Coleman, Aparicio, Gaga, McCarthy is the order. Brian says is next year going to be Saoirse Ronan's year. And do you think that honestly Glenn Close belongs here?
I probably place her last of the 5, if that's the question. We know who I'd put in here that's not here, but I think that's redundant for me to say at this point.
Yep. There's a segment on this network. Check it out.
By the way, somebody brought something up that I was kind of embarrassed I didn't notice right away. How prophetic it ended up being for her career in the future. That one of Olivia Colman's most famous lines in Hot Fuzz is nothing like a little girl on girl.
Wow. Close will finally win her Oscar, says Murphy Boy. Coleman, if Coleman was in supporting, she'd be in the same position as Ali, said Cool Guy.
I could see that since the field's so damn open.
That's what I said. I said Coleman was supporting originally. They're like, nope, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, when I saw The Favorite the second time, I kind of kept thinking, she's supporting, isn't she?
It's always the problem with the 3. You see her more of the figurehead because obviously the favorite role revolves around 2 different people, whereas the constant is the queen. And it's more about her, the one favorite that is used to her, and then the one that worms her way in, and then by the end thinks that, you know, she's got the power, only then to have to succumb to her favorite duties by, like, look at my leg.
But at the same time, it's like sort of like the Anthony Hopkins scenario when you think about category fraud, where it's like, if you put a leading performance in supporting, it seems like category fraud and it's unfair.
Yeah.
But if you category fraud,
Alicia Vikander.
Yeah. But if you do the reverse and you category fraud and put supporting performance and leading, and it actually makes it, I see that less as category fraud and more impressive, because that's just how much of an impression the performance makes.
Which is what Cats will do with every single performance. You might as well just say Cats wins Best Actress. Cats wins Best Supporting Actress. Cats wins Best Actor.
Stone would have easily gotten lead nomination. The studio really messed up.
She isn't. If you're looking at screen time, I think she's in it maybe about the same as Coleman. So maybe, but the problem is you can sort of tell the way the film was written, it's supposed to be about the Queen and the quest to become the Queen's favorite, rather than actually about the favorites themselves. Because because you'd think by the start of it, it's got a very all about Eve sort of thing to it, in that you're sort of wanting the younger one to sort of be the hero, if you will, but then sort of by the end, she's like the bigger villain of a lot of them.
Yeah.
In all honesty. So, yeah. Hopefully we get that next year. Oh, no, it'll be Little Women and Cats that will just take the entire Best Actress and Supporting Actress nomination.
Oh, God. Greta versus Tarantino? Why you do this to me, Hollywood? Come on.
No. Greta versus... What's his name that did Les Mis? Isn't he doing Cats? Can't remember.
Don't care. It's going to be Tarantino versus Greta. Don't do this to me, Hollywood.
Are we ready for actor?
Real quick. Smurfy Boy says Adams finally wins next year for Woman in the Window. Keisha Batra says, I don't believe it when Infinity War will lose to First Man. If anything, there should be a tie. Marvel lost way too many times due to the voting process. And Cool Guy says, when did MCU deserve it? Response, Doctor Strange.
Boom.
It was close between that and Jungle Book.
Yeah, you can't really fault the Jungle Book for winning.
I also, and everybody's going, all the Best Actor and Actress stuff next year. I wouldn't rule out Good Liar either, considering it's Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. You don't fuck with them. They're going to at least be in the BAFTAs for sure.
It's going to be an interesting director race next year, Brian, if we get to that right now. But what is the only film to win an Oscar via write-in?
Midsummer Night's Dream for cinematography in 1935.
Oh, yeah, that recent classic.
Best Actor.
Bradley Cooper for Star is Born, Christian Bale for Vice, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, and Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate. Bale's not dead. We said that before, and I will say it again. Bale is not dead.
So basically, AJ, you're saying Bale is God then, because God's not dead.
Oh, God.
Honestly, the really good comparison somebody made a while back was comparing Rami Malek to Eddie Redmayne, I feel like.
No, I actually like him.
But
damn.
And I don't know if it's the Bohemian Rhapsody controversies or what, but it's like, it is weird that Rami Malek has done everything a winner needs to do up to this point, because who gives a flying fuck about Critics' Choice? So the thing here is, why am I not feeling 100% on Malik? Number one, because I don't want to be 100% on anything, but also Bale just still feels like he's like right there. And I don't know why that is, why I feel that way. But I mean, of course, I've marked Rami Malek. You know, SAG and BAFTA speak volumes. And as we've been saying, Bohemian Rhapsody has gotten so much more industry love than I think most of us ever anticipated. So, yeah. And of course, you know, I'm hoping for Rami Malek too. So, yeah, that's where that lies.
G-Shop says Malik. Top Hat says still going with Bale. Ah! Cool Guy says Malik wins. So Smurfy Boy brings up Renee Zellweger playing Judy Garland next year. I feel like the ceremony is going to be like the 77th Academy Awards, says Keisha Patra.
That's very specific.
Yeah, very much so.
Quick,
Ashley, what do you got?
to work out what the 77th Academy Award was. I think I pretty much said this when the BAFTAs happened. I'm going with Malik. I think there's enough momentum that it's gotten sustained, and because they're trying to differentiate as much, that it's got nothing to do with Bryan Singer. Honest.
Yeah.
It feels like if the Singer thing was going to impact him, it would have by now.
Yep.
Especially when you see that nothing stopped Casey Affleck.
No, it did not.
Even the monumental performance that Denzel Washington gave that should have gotten every fucking award in the book, but that's beside the point, because that's a personal opinion that doesn't matter.
So I'm sure there's no surprise here. If you look at my if you're playing along at home, kids,
August.
You'll notice real quick that everything the Bohemian Rhapsody is nominated for, I'm giving it the win, with one notable exception. It can't be Roma. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
I'm putting that in.
But here's the thing. I've been saying this since August. Bohemian Rhapsody was going to be a bigger juggernaut than people thought it was going to be. More so wishful thinking than anything. And it's not because it's one of the only Oscar-nominated films I actually saw this year. It was because it literally is just that great.
Malik's commitment to the role.
Absolutely.
With that said,
Rami Malek, best actor, and it's gonna finally happen.
All right.
The guy who got murdered with the back of a hammer in Old Boy is winning an Oscar for Best Picture. For Best
Picture. Let's do this.
Yeah, I had mentioned that I thought it was interesting that Spike Lee celebrated when Rami Malek won BAFTA. I forgot they've done like 2 movies together, so they like know each other really well.
True.
Even if he is an Old Boy for like 10 seconds, still. All right. For picture, we have A Star Is Born, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, Roma, The Favorite, and Vice. Green Book's PGA win is lingering there, but obviously the only thing I have Green Book winning is Ali, which is interesting. Same. I will start to question it if it does win screenplay, like mid of the night. And that's, I feel like that's about, like, if the Favorite had won picture at BAFTA, I would say that, like, that's not impossible either. Because we've been saying Roma, and Roma seems so obvious. Which is interesting because technically it's pretty open still.
Yeah, totally.
But I think it was, like, after all the momentum it already had, and the fact that Oren feels so solidified in director, and like I said, it is also weird to see like a black and white foreign movie released by Netflix as such a certainty in picture. But I just don't see anything. I just don't feel anything else.
Nope.
And like I said, if I happen to be right by some miracle, that's 5 wins for it. If we go by mine, so that makes sense. So, I mean, 4 makes sense too.
Well,
and
if you take into consideration all the nominations it's got as well, you'd expect. I think the average is like at least half go from nominees to wins, isn't it? Roughly.
That sounds like it would be right. Yeah, I think also the 10 nominations is kind of something that just sort of pushed it over into this. Also, it's with regards to this movie with this fucking title, one of the favorites. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, once again, though, it's weird how obvious Roma seems when it really shouldn't, by all accounts. And obviously, the BAFTA win is a really nice big push for it, especially beating something like The Favorite, which is probably like the main final thing here, where it's like, yeah, of course it's going to be Roma. Despite the fact that we've seen stuff like 3 Billboards and The Revenant take BAFTA also. I just can't bring myself to go with anything other than Roma. So
okay. Rapid fire in chat. To be fair, Casey Affleck gave one of the performances of the decade. Malik won the same
award. They want you to know about it, considering he doesn't show up to award shows anymore.
Yeah. Malik won the same awards as Redmayne, therefore he's going with Malik. So Smurfy boy. Brian says the Oscar film he's questioning is Gemini Man with Ang Lee's newest movie because of Billy Lynn's long halftime walk. I remember having that in my Oscar predictions way early in the race that year. All right, more trivia. Who is the only actor to be nominated for lead and supporting for the same role in the same movie?
Barry Fitzgerald for Going My Way.
AJ knows his stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
150 points.
Shoot.
Hot damn.
Whenever Affleck is mentioned, Brian says, I think Brie Larson wished it was Denzel, except for SAG. Keyshav says Roma. Top Hat says who will win Best Roma. Shoot. Cool Guy says Roma. Sorry Boy says Roma wins hands down. Brian says depends on WGA. So Top Hat's retort, it isn't a plot-driven movie, so a loss of WGA won't necessarily hurt. Cool Guy talking about Shape of Water winning PGA. Murphy Boy thinks that 3 Billboards won PGA. Who won PGA?
Shape of Water.
There we go. PGA's gotten it wrong the last few years with The Big Short, La La Land, and 3 Billboards. La La Land won Best Picture. Nothing will tell me otherwise. The Cool Guy goes with Roma, Green Book, Favorite, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Star is Born, Vice, and Bohemian Rhapsody. Ain't no way Bohemian Rhapsody is in 8th place. And yeah, this is easy. Real easy. But first, Ashley.
I don't know. What am I supposed to say? We get a write-in win for bloody Gotti. Roma.
Cool Guy says we're the only 2 actors to be nominated for a Razzie for the same role in the same movie and an Oscar simultaneously.
What was that?
Who are the only 2 actors to be nominated for a Razzie for the same role in the same movie and an Oscar simultaneously?
Is that James Cotto and Amy Irving? For Yentl and Only When I Laugh?
Infinity War won at VES. Cool Guy says so did War, Dawn, and Rise. Yeah, I'd love to see something else win this, and I'm not talking about The Favorite. Green Book is definitely not out of this, but I think at this point, it's about a foregone conclusion that we're going to see a Netflix movie win Best Picture the first year that it is an option. Like we talked about in the new Oscar Rules podcast, which meant absolutely nothing because we were talking about the new category as well.
Can you imagine if we had done that every time they changed a rule just for them to change it back?
It wouldn't shock me. Speaking of the Oscars, nothing ever happened. La La Land won Best Picture. I turned it off at the right time. And then I moved to Florida the next day. So literally, that's what happened. Do I think Moonlight's overrated? No, not at all. Moonlight's amazing.
It was, at the time it won, actually still now, Moonlight is the best Picture winner since No Country for Old Men. And I mean that sincerely.
I'd have to look into it to see what I thought.
If you've seen my top 10, you know that can't be correct.
You know what gets better every time I see it, quite honestly? The King's Speech. And I say that as somebody who thinks The Social Network is the second best movie of the decade.
Exactly. All right, real quick before we take it home here, Cool Guy says, what are the only 4 films to win Picture without director?
Director nomination.
Well,
What are you
Crash.
talking?
Well, no, was Crash nominated for director? Is that what?
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Okay.
Do they mean no director nomination?
Or do they mean no director win?
It's not.
Well, obviously, the word
Nominations.
I'll go fuck yourself.
Driving Miss Daisy.
I'll go fuck yourself.
Grand Hotel, I think. And Wings. It would have. One of them has to be really early because the picture and director nominees were really fucked up there in the 20s and early 30s.
While we wait for more trivia to come through,
Cassie says best picture is Bohemian Rhapsody because I think we're going too safe of a choice with Roma. I hope so. I'd love to see Bohemian Rhapsody win best picture. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
That's what I'm saying. It feels so weird how sure Roma seems. It feels like there's something off about that. But then again, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, Cool Guy said you're correct.
Nice.
I think that's the go home then, because I think we've discussed
shall me
everything.
and AJ quickly go through our picks for the Razzies, with obviously no points on the line, just so we do address them.
There's no points on the line, then what's the point?
I don't know. People want to know our top 8 films in the categories on bloody Oscars night. Added content. I don't know.
I didn't have the nominations anywhere.
Don't worry, I have. It's on the Academy Awards thing as also included.
I follow the Razzies as much as I follow sports.
Yep, same.
I'm just intrigued because I think there's just high-profile misses. Fucking crimes of Grindelwald. The Razzie Redeemer Award, which is actually publicly voted. You got Melissa McCarthy, Peter Farrelly, Tyler Perry for Vice. He's got a Medea movie coming out within 2 weeks of this. You better think it twice.
Maybe they're voting him because he's killing her in that movie, supposedly.
No. So. That's not good enough. They're killing her so she comes back from the dead and boo, Medea Hammerline 3.
Oh my god, it's the perfect segue. Somebody save us.
Dear God.
Transformers franchise and Sony Pictures Animation. I can't say Sony Pictures Animation because they're doing Peter Rabbit 2. Fuck them.
I don't get the craziness surrounding Bumblebee. I don't.
I do. It was actually the first Transformers film I enjoyed.
It wasn't bad. I watched it the other night.
I mean, the fact that the last one was what, like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it did fuck all in that 2 hours and 40 minutes. Whereas Bumblebee felt like it actually had a heart. Plus, it's Travis Knight who knows how to fucking direct a film. Because, you know, I'm not the last good thing I think Bay did was. I'm trying to think what he did before Transformers because I don't rate paying in game.
That movie's incredible, so there.
Was it Bad Boys 2? If we're talking about the first Transformers.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about Transformers Uno, yeah.
Ryan says no Razzies. Don't make your nominations before Oscar night on the stream. Yeah, come on. It's been over 2 hours, and I'm sure everybody wants to take it home at this point.
Fine.
Since there's no points on the line, what's the point?
I don't know. As I say, we're being told to do all the stuff in the pre-show.
We've never covered the Razzies before. Why start now? I was like talking about the People's Choice Awards. And what is the last film to be for 2 performances nominated in lead?
Huh?
That's what he said. What is the only film? Okay, what is the only film to win an Oscar and then have it revoked?
That one I'm not sure about.
Okay.
I don't think Polanski's award's been revoked because of his.
Quiet, Mr. Top Hat. We do not to speak of this. La La Land won Best Picture. I turned off the TV at the right time.
No, I think you'll find Emma Stone won Best Picture.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer.
All right, take it home.
Emma Stone actually won Best Picture for La La Land.
It was Young Americans. It was for documentary.
Of course, documentary would fuck it up.
Because they found out they were old Americans, actually. Something like that.
Lord. And we're taking it home. So that's going to be your show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us throughout this entire award season. We got one more big show to do on Oscar Sunday. We're going to go live an hour into the red carpet, technically, right before the show starts, and give our thoughts on the Spirit Awards and the Razzies. And we're going to go over the final totals leading into the Oscars. And we're going to find out just how badly I'm going to lose this competition between the 3 of us. So I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight in our live chat. You guys and girls out there are super awesome. Thank you for joining us on a otherwise nothing to do Thursday night. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. And Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ash is my name UK.
Cool Guy says, hi, I stumped AJ. I believe the line goes savor the flavor because it won't happen again. Yay. Ashley can also be found with his Sip and Snack, his version of Sip and Snack, which is Ashley Snack Stash. So that's going to be coming back soon. More gaming with Ash coming in the near future. We've got our wrestling content here on this network and more stuff still to come. AJ cannot be found on social media, but if you'd like to leave a comment, you're more than welcome to do so in any of the videos or any of the other segments on this network. We have more Versus coming this weekend, more AJ's movie reviews coming very soon. And like I said, we're all 3 going to be joining you live in living color, if you will, for the 2019 91st Academy Awards Popcast next Sunday night. So get ready for that. So, but first, I got to run 13.1 miles and run through the kingdom. So there's that.
All three of us are hosting as well.
Yes, correct. We have more hosts than the Oscars do. So, the answer to the other question was Velma and Louise. Says Cool Guy. Makes sense. So follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney, and if you'd like, follow the network at Popcast Network. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us through the awards season. This video will become the main video on this network in a couple of minutes, actually. And for the second to last time this season, until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's all we got to say about that.